It's a bit like someone saying to you, how do you improve boxing when you don't like getting punched in the face? Okay, because being punched in the face is part of the sport. Welcome back to Modern Horror Stories podcast with Jamie, Dave, and Alex. Yesterday we talked about the movie Terrifier from 2016, and today we're going to tell you how we would make it better. As always, kudos for the people who made this film. We haven't made a film yet. We hope to one day, and it's a great endeavor to have achieved that. But with all due respect to those people, we're going to make it even better. And there will be spoilers around, I expect. So who'd like to go first?
So yeah, I did it. I really enjoyed this film, but there were elements of it that I really didn't enjoy. And Dave, you actually touched on it yesterday in the review. I didn't like that tricycle scene at all. I felt it really detracted from the film we were watching. It was just like, here's a random gratuitous moment of Art the Clown that doesn't actually add anything. Like, we've already got an essence of his character. We don't need this tricycle scene. And it felt very long to me. So I would cut that bit out. And also, I really felt like this film wasn't a standalone film. It feels like it opens doors that you can sort of feel they're planning to answer in sequels. And I was really curious to see Terrifier 2 to see if that was the case. And I'll let you know in the next review whether that feeling is confirmed or not. And Alex, actually, you touched on the fact that Terrifier 3 might be bringing some of those elements in. And I felt that was a bit disappointing. Like, I don't mind. It's okay for a film to end with, ooh, there might be a sequel. But I feel like the film needs to be able to hold itself as well. But then that said, I enjoyed Marvel's Infinity War, and that definitely does not exist in a vacuum. You have to see things before and after to make that film work. So maybe they're going for a wider universe, and maybe that's okay. But I didn't enjoy that element, and I felt it detracted from this film. And also the fact that it felt like it set up two different sequels kind of annoyed me, because it felt like it set up a human character who became monstrous by the end, and it also set up the fact that Art is not a human character and is actually some kind of ghost and can come back to life. Or ghost might not be the right word, but it felt like suddenly now we've got two false endings, or two possibilities for sequels that felt like a little bit too many. But other than that, I really enjoyed I actually liked the characters. I know there was some discussion yesterday about the lack of character, but I liked the characters we were watching, and I was rooting for them. Yeah.
And on that note, the first thing that I've written down was character development. I wanted 15 minutes at the start of this film of getting to know these two girls. I wanted 50 minutes of seeing them at college or school or whatever it is. I wanted to understand their normal life. And that way, when everything changes, I've got more of a sense of what's going on. I think just giving them about 15 minutes to breathe as characters and let us understand them would have done this film so much good, I think. Also, it might have been nice seeing maybe if we had them at uni or whatever they're doing intercut with Art the Clown at birthday parties or something like that. I'd love it if he was doing birthday parties during the day and was sort of still was sinister and everything, but was doing it properly, was doing his job, and then at night would come out with his bag. I think that would have been great. So that's one thing that maybe I'd change about it. I'd keep Sydney Press. So we've been, for those of you who didn't see the review yesterday, we've been calling the character Tara Sydney Prescott. So I would have kept Sydney Prescott alive through the whole thing. She would have been the sort of faceless woman at the start and at the end of the film in the framing device. She was, yes, I was immediately more attached to her than I was to Vic. But again, yeah, I wanted to sort of know more about these characters. And I wanted her to be, the main character rather than Art the Clown being the main character. Because really, I do want to have a final girl to find myself attached to, as opposed to just the killer. And what have I written here? Absolutely no idea. So on that note, I'm going to pass along to Dave because I can't read my own handwriting.
So this has been a really difficult one for me, because it's a bit like someone saying to you, how do you improve boxing when you don't like getting punched in the face? Okay, because being punched in the face is part of the sport. And so I've always taken our improvement videos of how do we make this a better movie of the kind of movie it is, when, like I say, this isn't my kind of movie. So I found this one really, really difficult. I also wonder if they did make the Sidney Prescott and the other characters a little more relatable, if then the gore would be more intolerable, perhaps. Because I don't know, I'm not quite sure how these films would work, or how this film would work if we really liked these characters or got to know them before they were ripped in half.
It would have been more painful, I agree, but that wouldn't have bothered me.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say without having experienced it, but I think my score would go up if we had Alex's version of the film.
I don't mind it being cruel, to be honest, if it's a horror film. It doesn't bother me if we were to get to know a character, get to love them, and then get seen killed off.
I do agree with everything that you guys have said, and I would, as I mentioned yesterday, I think I would go for slightly less Art the Clown. I feel like they threw everything they could on the screen in terms of making him a scary clown. And yeah, James, you're right about the tricycle. I just felt that came out of like a brainstorm of like what are all the things that clowns do that we can throw into this movie, which it does fascinate me to see what they're going to do with him in the second movie, because it feels like they've done everything in this one, apart from have a story. But yeah, I found it difficult to improve this movie. Not because it's not improvable, but because it's outside I don't like boxing. Okay. I play golf. And so as someone who plays golf, I shouldn't be talking about boxing. That's how I feel.
Wow, I think that's I love that. How mature.
For once we've done something mature in our podcast. So have you agreed with us? Do you think we've improved the movie or ruined it? Put your ideas of how we can improve Terrifier in the comments section below, and hopefully see you next time, where we're going to be talking about Terrifier 2. I've seen Terrifier 2 now. I'm not going to comment on that yet.